It's already past 2300, and it's still a long way to Fengtian.
Major Tsuji, what is this about? Why the special train in the middle of the night to escort this girl to Japan? She looks pretty ordinary to me.
Hell if I know. There's no telling what the big shots in Tokyo are thinking. Next time I see you-know-who, I'll ask her, okay? What's going on? Shoot! Die!
It's you.
Yes, Roger Bacon. I'm honored that you remember me so well. You can't escape. Come along quietly, sister. Ah, a new actor in our play. I was fond of him.
This is Yohhamgambal, and I'm here presenting my brand new LP. We are playing Shadow Hearts. I am extremely pumped for this. I was gonna wait to do this later after doing Kadoka because now I've done 2 RPGs in a row. But I just want to show you Kadoka. I just want to play Shadow Hearts so bad. It has become one of my favorite RPGs of all time. Unfortunately, though, there's so much to go over in just the beginning. It's gonna sound like I'm rushing, and I most certainly am. But there is a shit ton to go through. Those enemies, they're not very important. I guess one thing I am going to do, though, like I've done with all my other LPs, is I am going to read their bestiarity. So just real quick for fun. Formed from putrid vapors of a stagnant pond, its filthy sickle cleaves enemies with frightening speed. They appear in groups, laughing wickedly. And they only have 10 HP. So, and their wind element, it's obviously just a tutorial, so they're not going to present any trouble. But as you saw there, you probably noticed there was a lot of different things I could have clicked on when I chose to fight, and I'll try and go through those in depth as we go along. And anyways, we got an item, and one thing I am also going to do, just like I did in Kadoka, I am going to show you all. I'll try and remember to show all the items that we get because they're really fun to read. They all have their own little history. Right now I'm kind of speeding through these by accident, but don't worry, I'll just let them scroll slowly so that you can read them if you want, and you can always pause too. But yeah, I just really like, that's one of the things I love about the Shadow Hearts series and Kadoka, is that they give these items so much life. It feels like they really belong in this world, so it's a really cool feature in my opinion. But yeah, though, other than that though, we just need to keep walking along with our rude hero who survived quite a shuffle with that man in black. Thankfully, our rude hero seems to have supernatural abilities, otherwise he would be paced on the floor like these soldiers. But he seems to have escaped with that young lady. Oh, but it seems like our rude hero has really good hearing. Oh, there he goes. There goes Butler Man. Well, none of that's happening. Our rude hero is on the chase. He's pursuing hotly. Pops. That's how rude we are. We call old people pops. Anyways, though, so there's a lot that goes on in this game. It's a very, it's an RPG where you really have to be actively engaged in it, or nothing good will happen. So as you can see, one of the awesome features of our main characters, he can transform into various demons, each with their own abilities, attributes, and special attacks. And this is his first one. There's a lot in the game. Excuse me. There's a lot in the game, but right now we only have one. And this fight is just a tutorial. There's no way you can win it. It is an unwinnable fight against someone who is named Roger Bacon. Now, this is a little odd. If you were with me in my in my Kadoka game, you'll know that Roger Bacon is an old man who's lived for about 500 years or so, if not more than that. And I don't remember him looking like this. But this could be a prequel to that, or this could be a sequel. I mean, Roger was an extraordinarily powerful warlock. He could have found a way to de-age himself, so this is a possibility. We do not know, but Roger Bacon definitely seems to be taking a very antagonistic role in this game, aside from, which is different from his last one, where he was a helpful minor character. And yeah, you can't win this fight. It's unwinnable. And I need to talk about the Judgment Ring, which I will. It's kind of like Super Mario Star. It's just where you have to time it. If you get in the red, you do more damage. And here we are, the world map. This is where we do a lot of our traveling, but right now we still only have just the rude hero. There's not much else we can do but to go to the plains, now that we've escaped from Roger Bacon. You took quite a punch, though. How strong do you have to be to rip a person's face off with a punch like that? The rude hero, although quite rude, is also quite physically gifted, it seems. Yep, it is long gone, our platinum blonde friend. Getting a tingly-fingly? Oh, rude hero, I believe in the current year that would be considered sexual assault. He's not gonna do anything. He's rude, but, you know, he respects your boundaries, I think. I don't know. Interesting enough, that's the only time you really hear voice acting, apart from like those really special cutscenes, is when that stupid voice talks to you. You can hear it it's very hard to hear, and I only just noticed it now, actually, not even lying, because I'm wearing headphones playing this. Also, I hope my sound quality sounds better. I bought a microphone, a brand new one, and I'm still testing things out, but I think it's like, it even has like the cool little stand thing, and I think I think my sound is better, because I know some people were talking about, you know, it's probably about time. And hopefully there's no popping. But I think it's okay. Anyways, oh jeez. Yeah, you're probably not a good place to lay down. Oh, jeez. Yuri is a bit of a perv, but that's kind of his character. Nothing too bad. I like the little bubbles above their head when they talk. Yeah, you really need to stop putting yourself in these dangerous situations. You got no manners. What your manners, kid? I love how their name's A Girl in Danger and just Rude Hero. Smell pretty good, you know. What is that, lavender? I'm more of a cocoa butter guy myself, but lavender's not bad. Yuri, ooh, I almost said his name. Rude Hero, I don't think that's something you should tell people, is that you hear voices in your head. It's usually something you keep to yourself. Well, actually, maybe you should tell somebody, so you can go see someone for help. Might be a good idea. Maybe. Maybe. So yeah, this is where you can name your character. I just keep the default names because, that's just their names, their default names. I almost totally said his name too just a second ago. And then this is Alice Elliott. Yuri, whose last name escapes me right now, but starts with an H, I know. But it's, I know Alice's name, Elliott. Elliott. Sounds British. But, okay. Okay, one thing really quick. I absolutely love Yuri's run cycle. Can we just... It's kind of hard to see here, but, when we get a little better view, can we just appreciate how goofy it is? Like, it is the best. They fix it in the sequels, unfortunately. I wish they kept it goofy, because he kind of looks like Goofy running through, like, just like a tunnel that's pushing him with, like, wind behind his back, and he's just kind of, like, flailing about. He seriously runs kind of like Goofy from the Kingdom Hearts series. It's honestly pretty great. I sincerely love it. No, you weren't, Yuri. Don't you lie. Don't you lie. Don't start this relationship on a foundation of lies. Anyways, what we need to do is actually grab this shiny thing over here, but I kind of forego doing that just to do a little bit of exploring. I mean, it's easier to grab it, but I just kind of forgot to. Anyways, we have 2 new enemies here. And anyways, just gonna... Whenever you're using Yuri, just always transform. There's no point in ever being his non-monster form. And, one thing really quick is the Judgment Wheel I mentioned before. Every action you do, even using items, is based on the Judgment Wheel. Except for running away. Running away isn't based on the Judgment Wheel. But, if you can get the little red sliver in the parts of the attack, you get, your attack does more damage. And certain attacks are harder to Judgment Wheel than others. So yeah. And Alice is actually our white mage of the game. She does get some offensive magic a little later, but she's mostly for healing. And anyways, though, the 2 enemies we fought are the wolf, and it only has 15 HP, and it's a wind type. There's nothing really interesting about it except a medium-sized wolf that lives on the plains of the continent. It is a mutant subspecies that supposedly appears only in areas where battles have taken place. It is a ferocious beast where habit of feeding off corpses of warriors slain in battle has given it a taste for putrid human flesh. Yeah, that's lovely. And then the other enemy was Vampire Bat. I'm just getting my notes. Sorry about that. But yeah, these enemies are all really easy. Just level 35. I'm sorry, HP is 35. Mutated flesh-eating bats that live in the plains of the continent. A group of vampire bats can wipe out an entire village. It has crooked fangs and claws. Whoa, shit, that's kind of dangerous. And it's a dark type. Right now the types aren't too important, but later on they do become more important. Because there's let me count. There's like 5 elements. There's fire, water, earth, wind, dark, light, and non-element. So there's 7 elements. And I'll explain how they all work in conjunction with each other in a minute. And then the next, this is our last new enemy we find in this part. And this is just a venomous spider. They're pretty easy, but they actually can poison you, which isn't too dangerous, but can be a little bit of a nuisance. Without sound, the giant spider, its entire body is covered with long, soft hair, approaches its enemies on long, thicker than a person's body. Yeah, that's a weird sentence. It injects a powerful corrosive poison into the anus of its prey and devours the meat once it has softened. Jeez. It has 10 HP and it's an earth element. Wow, it puts poison in your anus. That is quite an enema you get. Poison enema? Yes, please. But yeah, though, so like I said, there's 7 elements, and non-element is a special element because every element is strong and weak against each other. So how it works is it's not really like Pokemon, whereas Pokemon would be like, each element has a couple of different strengths against other elements, while it also has a couple of weaknesses against other elements. This game isn't like that. This game has elements that are just corresponding to just a single other element, and then that's it. So let's say fire and water. Fire is weak against water. Easy enough, but water is weak against fire, so they do more damage to one another. Wind is weak against earth, earth is weak against wind. Dark against light, light against dark. That's how it works. And then non-element is just, there's not a lot of enemies that have non-elements, and there's only a couple of attacks in the game that have non-element, so you don't really run across them, but they just do neutral damage all around. Anyways, though, sometimes during the game, you'll have to use the judgment ring to do certain tasks. Like, this is to grab this spigot or whatever. Unfortunately, I failed the first time, and depending on how well you do here, you get better items. So, I get it the second time, but the first time I would have gotten a better item, like a bandana or a leather belt, I believe. This, though, because I failed the first time, I only get a seed, which is okay. I mean, I could use the healing items, honestly, because it is nice. Although Alice is a really good healer, and one of the nice things is her healing kind of gets better as... So, right now she only has Cure, right? But that Cure will never become obsolete. So it's not like in Final Fantasy where Cure becomes kind of useless compared to Cure 3. That Cure just progressively gets better. And it will progressively just get stronger and stronger. Later on, she gets a full heal on everybody in the party. But even still, her regular Cure is really simple. It costs very little MP, and it's just all-around decent ability if you just need to heal one single person and you don't want to waste a lot of MP. So that's really nice. I forgot to look at the item. I meant to show you. I'll show you. I think I show it in the next part. We still have it, even though it looks like we don't. Anyways, we need to go rest over here. After all that adventuring and fighting. She's got some nerve being tired. Ugh. Daddy issues. That just turns my peener into soft wood. I am not having any of that. Yeah, she is, Yuri. Some people have daddy issues. I think almost everyone has daddy issues. I know I do. I mean, my dad's dead, so, That's neither here nor there. Oh, looks like you have your own set of daddy issues, Yuri. I'm glad we can all relate. Uh-oh, it's time to fight Foxface. And he likes to go for the SP lowering, so you can't even... So yeah, when you... one of the things about Yuri's fusion is... The reason why Yuri in particular has the most SP... and what happens is when he fuses, he loses a huge chunk of it. And then he continues to lose like 1 SP every turn, just like every other character. But without having a certain amount of SP at the beginning of the fight or whenever you want to transform, he can't transform at all, so we don't have the ability. We could use an item to restore our SP, but there's no point. This fight is unwinnable. You just have to lose. So, yeah. And this is a special... Yeah, this attack is really annoying. Later secret bosses have it, and it's super annoying. It's terrible. It looks cool. It's like a bubble bath. What it does is it no matter how much HP you have, it always reduces it to 1. So it takes... Yeah, it always reduces you to 1 HP. And like I said, there's no point in healing. He just... Yeah. He himself, though, can transform. He has a way more confident transformation, though, into the Death Emperor. The Death Emperor kind of looks like Bahamut because it has like the goat body down below, but it doesn't have boobs, so it doesn't have like the female anatomy. So I mean, it's not quite Bahamut, but it kind of looks kind of similar. Anyway, so this is in a very important place that we will be visiting actually quite a lot. Well, depression is a real thing, Yuri. Youch! One of the funny things about this graveyard, at least for me, is this was the first screenshot I ever saw of the game, and then I looked frantically to figure out what this game was, and then I randomly found it at my local. I don't remember how I found it because I found it at my local game shop, but then it was too expensive at the time, and then I found out about Kadoka. And in the Shadow Hearts, I don't even know how I found it. It's weird. Anyways, this is one of the other quirks about this game is for Yuri to get new demon forms, he needs to actually beat them within the graveyard. And this is the first one we are given. This is the first one we are given, besides the Death Emperor. This is the Raging Tiger. Now, each demon form is HP and strength is equivalent to kind of your strength. It's kind of like its HP is like a certain percentage of how much HP you have, and so on. But this is the Raging Tiger, and he is Earth. He's actually one of my more favorite line of the demons in this particular game. I really like it. It's not very hard though, but he does have the ability to heal, which is actually really useful when you're using him as Yuri, because that way, you know, maybe you don't have a healer in your party right now, or she's doing something else. So it's just nice. But yeah, just this fight's pretty easy. You just want to go ahead and hit it with your deer hooves, your goat hooves. Another thing I really like about this game is you can tell when an enemy's dying is they always have a different animation when they're low on health. Every single enemy has a different look when they're about to die. And the Raging Tiger also likes to try and beef up his defense. Not that it matters. But yeah, though, this is how you get more demons. But of course, though, you aren't just given them, though. You have to collect the souls of enemies, and each enemy, as I mentioned before, is a different type, and when you kill them, it raises a bar of energy. It's like a stock. You have to get a certain amount of certain element stock before you can actually awaken the monster within that tombstone to defeat it and gain its power. So right now we only have the raging tiger, but later on we can get more by stocking the elements from enemies. It's really easy. All you have to do is kill them, and they automatically become yours. And I'm just getting rid of this because I'm going to start doing that off screen, but for some reason that help thing kind of annoys me. One thing though that you need to do is make sure you equip the soul. In the sequels of this game, the soul you can have you can use whatever demon you want, but in this game you can only equip 3 at a time. So yeah, which makes this a little more. It makes you start favoring certain ones over others, which is a little sad because you really only use just like maybe 3 throughout the whole game. Sometimes if you want to mix it up, you'll use others to make boss fights slightly easier. But really, there's just a couple that you can just use in almost any situation, and it's just generally better. I will try, though, not to do that. I'm going to try and vary it up because I do like all the demons. It's just unfortunate that they're not all as useful as one another. Some are more useful than others. And anyways, we seem to wandered into Majora's Mask. Oh, man, why you guys gotta be jerks, huh? Nothing wrong with loving your daddy. Yeah, so this is another feature. So when you kill enemies, that you also accumulate malice, and if you accumulate too much malice, the fox face will come after you in fights and start trying to kill you. So you need to make sure it's either the fox face or the masks. I've actually never accumulated enough malice to where they chase you until I needed to for like a secret ending. But yeah, though, it's really not that hard. All you have to do is come into the graveyard, which you can only do at save points, and fight the malice. And there's only like 4 versions of the monsters you can fight. They're all called evil spirits, but each one has a different number. And this one's evil 1, and it's pretty easy. It's just evil souls that lives in the graveyard. The vengeance of the monsters killed by the Yohhamgambal. It tries to take the Yohhamganbal's soul and turn him into a demon. Of course, you probably don't know what a Yohhamgambal is, and that is actually what Yuri is. That is what they call his demon fusing, harmonixing. Apparently, it's a dead lost art. But our father seems to know it, and Yuri does too, so it must be a family thing. But yeah, though, every time you kill one, though, usually you'll get an item out of clearing your malice. And you really do have to, because after a while, the masks, and I believe Foxface too, will just start chasing you, and you won't be able to do anything else unless you get rid of it. It's not that hard to get rid of. Yeah. One of the things, though, I do like about it is when you kill the malice, if you notice, the masks have like a kind of an intense aura around them. But when you, depending on how much malice you have, the aura around them gets bigger and fiercer. But when you kill it, it goes down to just kind of more of an outline around their body. So it's really a cool feature. I really like that a lot. I'll probably do most of that off screen just because, I mean, once you've seen all the evils, there's no point in seeing me fight them anymore. But for now, I think I show a couple just because the evils are slightly different from one another. Just so you can see what they look like. But they're really easy. They cause no trouble. It's just something you have to do occasionally. It's like weeding your garden. It's nothing difficult, but, you know, if you don't do it every so often and something really bad happens, you get crabgrass or something worse. Jeez. That was a rough night, huh, Yuri? Jeez, that sucks. Having nightmares. I don't think I've had a nightmare in years. But with that, though, we can continue on. Nothing much more else to do here. I have no idea how to get that treasure chest on the left. I'm not even kidding. I have no idea how to get it. Anyways, it's just a level up. And see, after you kill an enemy, you get a certain element right there. And we got wind, which is good because a boss we fight somewhat soonish in part 4. We're going to want to have a wind fusion. Unfortunately, though, that's going to be probably the only time I use the wind fusion. Because like I was saying before, some fusions are way more useful than others, and that's just kind of one of the less useful ones. And I got a new item, the Terra Seed. Those actually heal you by 150, I believe. They're pretty good. One of the cool things is, though, if you are able, when you're using an item, for some items like healing items, if you're able to get the red part of the judgment wheel, you actually get more health back. So originally you'll get only 150 from that, but if you hit the red part of the wheel, you'll get 175, I think, or is it? It's like 175 or 190. It's one of those two, but it's pretty good. And that's a back attack. Sometimes you can get back attacked, but it's nothing too dangerous. And then I just wanted to also show you what running looked like. So yeah, you can get back attacked, and when you get back attacked, it actually changes your formation of the battle. So normally Alice is in the back, but now she's in the back. She's in the front, and Yuri's in the back. And what that does is, when you're in the front, you take more physical damage, and you give more physical damage. While you're in the back, you give less physical damage, but you take less physical damage. But your magic is unaffected by that, though. But Yuri, though, you pretty much always want in the front. But yeah, though, I just wanted to show you what a back attack looked like and what it looked like to run away. Normally, I don't run away, but in that case, I just didn't really want to fight. Man, that voice is intense. It's like a migraine, huh, Yuri? Even the sound they give it really is very unsettling. Oh, why didn't you have a headache? Ellipses, 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 ellipses. All right. Well, she's so nice. Maybe that's why. But you know what, though? I'm going to end the video here, and we're going to head to the village in the next part. This has been Yohhamgambal. Thanks for watching. Okay. Bye, then.